The city of Nashik woke to a moment no one could explain. Amid the noise and motion of morning life, a leopard walked through the streets, not as a predator, but as a messenger. Her amber eyes weren't hunting. They were pleading. Silently, desperately, she moved through the crowd, looking for something only humans could offer: help. That morning, the city of Nashik came to a standstill as a large leopard suddenly appeared. The leopard walked slowly through the crowded streets, its eyes filled with confusion and a silent plea for help. People panicked and ran away, but the animal did not attack. It only bowed its head and silently pleaded. Ariv, a veterinary student, and Dev, a local forest ranger, were the first to stop and observe. Dev quickly realized the leopard was not looking for prey but was calling for help with a desperate look in its eyes. The mother leopard gently turned her back, walking slowly towards the outskirts, occasionally looking back at the group of people. Curiosity overcame fear. Ariv and a small group decided to follow the mysterious animal. Through narrow alleys and wild, weedy lands, the leopard's footprints were clearly visible on the dusty ground. Dev led the group, keeping a safe distance while reassuring the hesitant crowd. The mother leopard showed no signs of aggression but patiently led the way, her eyes occasionally glancing back. They crossed a clearing where the bushes were sparse and the sun was shining brightly. The forest wind blew through, carrying the smell of earth and the rustling of the sparse forest trees. The group moved forward silently, only the sound of hurried footsteps on dry, rotten grass. Coming to a hollow area, the mother leopard stopped in front of an ancient well covered with green moss. She circled the mouth of the well, emitting low growls of anxiety and despair. Dev and Ariv approached, cautiously looking down into the deep, dark well below. A faint cry echoed from the bottom of the well, sounding like a sigh of despair. At the bottom of the well, a small, wet leopard cub was shivering and huddled in hopelessness. The mother leopard growled softly, her eyes filled with sadness mixed with a plea for human help. Ariv choked up, realizing that the big leopard just wanted to find help for her cub. Dev immediately assigned people to get ropes, a rescue cage, and some food. Everyone joined forces and ran to the nearby ranger station to get the necessary tools for the rescue operation. While waiting, the mother leopard climbed up a nearby tree branch, her eyes never leaving the well. The crowd stood still, everyone's hearts heavy, wishing to save the little life. A large rescue cage was quickly brought over, with ropes tied tightly around the sturdy iron frame. Dev instructed everyone to slowly lower the cage into the well, avoiding panicking the little leopard cub. The cage creaked and slid down, the sunlight glistening on the iron frame covered with green moss. Some fresh meat was placed inside, the aroma spreading throughout the damp well. The hungry and exhausted cub smelled the food and began to inch towards the cage. Ariv whistled softly, hoping that the gentle sound would help the cub calm down. Step by step, the little leopard approached the cage, its wet legs trembling non-stop. Everyone at the mouth of the well held their breath. No one dared to move too hard to scare the cub. When the cub's entire body was inside the cage, Dev quickly pulled the rope, and the door closed safely. A soft clap rang out, but everyone immediately focused on the task of pulling the cage up. The rope stretched. The creaking sound echoed as everyone used all their strength to pull the cage up. The mother leopard hissed softly from the tree branch, her eyes anxiously following every movement. Dev and Ariv took turns pulling the rope, their hands red and swollen, blood oozing from the scratches. A young girl named Mira also joined in, her face determined and without hesitation. The sun gradually disappeared behind the distant mountains, and the red sunset dyed the touching scene pink. The rope became tighter and tighter. The cage inched up little by little from the deep well. The sound of a rescue tractor from the ranger station started, helping to pull the cage up. Everyone coordinated well, each doing their own part, creating a random rescue team full of humanity. The mother leopard occasionally let out soft moans, half worried, half hopeful. The sky darkened, but the enthusiasm and determination of the rescuers still shone brightly. The heavy rescue cage swayed gently along the tight rope in the middle of the cold well. The cub huddled inside, its fur soaked with water, dripping onto the bottom of the cage. Its eyes were wide open, sparkling with fear mixed with a fragile hope. Ariv looked down into the well, silently praying that the little cub would not give up. The mother leopard roared softly from the tree branch, the sound echoing like silent, patient encouragement. The rope rubbed against the slippery, mossy wall of the well, emitting a creepy creaking sound. Dev signaled everyone to continue pulling steadily, keeping the cage from tilting or tipping over. Salty drops of sweat fell to the ground, mixing with the thick dust of the sunset. Each rapid breath sounded rhythmically, like a drum urging on everyone's heart. Mira tightened the rope with her scratched hands, her determined gaze refusing to let her stop. The cub whimpered softly, its small legs trembling constantly from cold and prolonged exhaustion. The group moved in unison, each person exerting all their strength as if saving their own precious life. The rope seemed about to snap under the tense atmosphere of the suffocating rescue. Ariv gritted his teeth, his hands red and sore, blood flowing in long streaks on the back of his sunburned hands. At the bottom of the well, the cub still clung tightly to the slippery iron cage. The cage slowly rose, only a few meters away from reaching the mossy well mouth. A strong gust of wind blew, causing the cage to sway slightly, making everyone gasp. Dev ordered the rope to be tightened further, and everyone immediately summoned all their strength for the final pull. The roar of the rescue tractor grew louder, pushing the cage up the final crucial stretch. The sun had completely set. Night had fallen, covering the landscape in dark blue. In the flickering light of flashlights, the rescue cage finally reached the well mouth safely. A soft cheer rose up, a murmur of celebration for the relentless efforts. Dev quickly lifted the cage from the well, placing it on the ground with everyone's support. The mother leopard hissed, jumped off the tree branch, but stopped a few steps away from the cage, alert, cautious. The cub huddled in the cage, its small body shivering from cold and exhaustion. A blanket was spread out on the bare ground, and Ariv and Dev slowly placed the cage on it. The people surrounding kept quiet. Only the sound of heavy breathing and the wind whistling through the leaves remained. Dev carefully unlocked the cage and opened the door slightly, letting the cub find its own way out. The cub stretched slightly, its eyes still dazed by the light and the scent of nearby humans. Its gaze searched for something familiar in the strange space, filled with the smell of dust and smoke. A soft hiss rang out. The mother leopard called, causing the cub to react with instinctive urgency. She called again, her voice soft but compelling. One step, then two steps. The cub trembled as it gradually moved forward, eyes wide with anxious hope. Its wet fur was matted in patches, and drops of water fell to the ground. The thin, small appearance of the cub further highlighted the fragility between life and death. It continued moving forward slowly, its teary eyes sparkling with a fragile determination. Just a few steps away from its mother, the cub suddenly rushed forward. The mother leopard hurriedly ran over, bent down, spread her legs wide, and embraced the cub tightly to her chest. A deep roar rumbled from her throat, joyful and protective in the midst of a strange siege. Everyone quietly stepped back, giving space to that sacred, unforgettable moment. The mother leopard gently nudged her cub toward the forest, where the light sparkled behind dense trees. The cub turned to look back one last time, its round eyes shining with unspeakable gratitude. The mother and cub quickly disappeared into the quiet night, leaving behind a lingering gaze. The gentle wind blew, carrying a low roar like a farewell between the human world and nature. Everyone stood still, their hearts filled with a holy joy they had never known before. Dev held Ariv's hand, squeezing it tightly, passing on strength and silent pride. A simple story had connected humans and nature with an invisible thread of compassion. And somewhere deep in the forest, the mother and cub began their journey to freedom again. Dear friend, thank you for taking the time to follow the story. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to support us.